have your attention, people?
Go away. Go away. Go away.
Please, there's a bee here today.
Go away. Go away. Go away.
Please, there's a bee here today.
May I have your attention?
My style is impetuous. I told you all. I am the greatest.
Always better.
Go away.
Suck 36. My style is impetuous. I told you all. My style is impetuous. I am the greatest. Please, there's a bee here today.
Go away. Go away. Go.
Meatloaf! 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 Meatloaf!
May I have your attention, people?
Hello. Good
Union Bank, they ain't no shit. Every time they fuck with it, I don't know what's going on. My account is gone, it's never wrong. I cash a check, I give them grand, but they don't give me any in hand. I gotta go on the street and 5 o'clock, they close to me. I call service. They're in Jamaica. They don't want to help me, but the money they'll take it, they'll never give it back. They put my card on a hold for 24 hours. There is nowhere I can go. I can call, I complain. I went on social media to tell them all my sorrows, but I don't need no media. I just kind of fucked that one up, but point is, Union Bank ain't shit. Don't go to Union Bank. Boom.
Go away.
May I have your attention?
My style is... My style is impetuous. My style is impetuous. I am the greatest. I told you all.
Go.
May I have your attention?
Please, there's a bee here today. Please, there's a bee here. Please, there's a bee here today. Please, there's a bee.
Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away.
Never know what you're gonna get. Shit, nigga. Shit, Negro. That's shit, Negro. That's all you.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That is something new. Threw that together. I want to have something new for you. And that's what I did. Right here is, right here in the palm of my hand. Boom. Go ahead and go to the website, snap, boom, legendspodcasting.com. This is Reuben from Lion and the Truth on a Sunday. Checking out the Bills and Kansas City game right in front of me. I could have more games over here. And that's a lot of rowdy cars in the background. That's what it's all about. I'm going to put this right there so I don't have to deal with that. Boom. And once again, like I said, this is Reuben from Lion and the Truth. Union Bank sucks. So let me just get it right to you, to the fucking point. So, I opened a new bank account at Union Bank, right? Because I travel. I'm on the road a lot. So I wanted this new bank account because they actually are the same bank that the company I work for uses. So I figured, hey, they use this bank, and if I use the bank, if they give me a check, no problems. They're from the same bank. You know what I mean? Like, they were looking pretty good. I was feeling good. So that was a game plan, right? So, open a bank account, put like, $60 in there. One day I used the gas on it. I just empty it, fill my tank up, drive up there. A couple days later, I get a check. No, a couple days later, I haven't got paid yet, so I get a, don't use a check, I get a transfer through their app, Zelle, Zelle, I think it is. They have Apple Pay, but Apple Pay they don't do the instant Apple Pay, they do a 2 or 3 day Apple Pay, so you can't use Apple Pay, but the Zelle is instant. Sweet, I'll use that app, and it actually works good when it works. So I try to get a transfer. The transfer to me is denied. Why? Well, in Union Bank, because my account was at 0 on that card, they will shut your account down. So for 24 hours. No. So if your account is empty for 24 hours, they shut you down. They're saying, oh, fuck, you're not here for a day? We don't need you. So they canceled my account, which in turn cancels the Zeal account because Zeal's tied to a bank account, but the bank account doesn't exist because they shut you down. So, no transfer. I call, I'm frustrated. Luckily, I think it was before 5. I left at noon on that day, I remember. And so I was lucky. If it was after 5, I'd be totally screwed. So anyways, before 5, got a hold of Jamaica, and they got a hold of customer service, which got a hold of it's just like 15 categories. No one can really do anything. But anyways, they finally turned my bank account back on. Then they had a call to the internet people for Zelle, so I can get a transfer, right? So I got a transfer to me in my account. Excited. Finally got the account back on. Go to In-N-Out, order food, go online, slide my card. The card declined. Like, I just had a bunch of money transferred to me. I looked at my account, there's money in there. Call the bank up, and luckily I looked up where a bank was. It was down the street, so I drive to the bank, call the people. As I'm going in the bank, I pull out cash, and they say, "Oh yeah, we put a 24-hour hold on your card." I'm like, "What? I'm out of town. My main use of money is going to be this card. I'm not going to use credit cards and all this other stuff. I'm using this card." And so far, they shut the account down. They denied transfer of funds, and then they put my card on freeze. But luckily, I pulled out cash. I had to go inside the bank. So that was problem number 1. Yeah. Wash it. Yeah, we do, right? Move on, right? Right, move on, right, say? So, the second time, when it happened, yeah, everybody's like, yeah, whatever. So, then the second time, I get a check, big check for, a couple thousand. And I didn't want any problems. So I take my lunch. That day I was going to go from San Jose to Fresno right after work, about 4:30, traffic, drive into town as fast as possible so I can catch a football game in town. So I go, I'll skip my own personal lunch and I won't eat. I'll go to the bank at lunch. I'll get this check and I'll hand it to the lady and sign it over. So I get on my app and find out where the bank is, drive there. No bank. Bank doesn't exist anymore. They moved out of there. Okay, so find another bank. Not too far. So I go there. Sweet. Head to that bank, right? So I'm on my way, driving to that bank, get there, hustle up, go inside, sit down with the lady, person to person. She sees my bank account. It's the longest process in the first place. All I was going to do is deposit a check. And for me to deposit a check literally took 7 minutes. Handwriting, it is the longest process I've ever seen. Okay? So I give her all the money. I tell her what I'm doing. She's like, "Oh, from out of town," because she's like, "I've never seen you here before," blah, blah. Long conversation. I give her my whole life spiel. Yeah, I can't wait to get back at home, cash my checks, so I have some money to get home, blah, blah. She sees my account, knows what's going on. I go to work at 4:15. I get off work. I go to the store, go to buy some stuff, slide my card, declined. Like, I just put a couple thousand in there. I have nothing attached to this card. It's just for travel. So I look at my account and said, processing check. Like I said before, the check is from Union Bank, the same place my company gets banking from. So it should be no issue. The company I work for, not attached. It's a bank from them. Union Bank says, "Hey, this is legal tender. Trust us. Cash this bank." And if I went to another bank and use it, they would guarantee it. They're not going to say, "Oh no, we're going to look at that check for a while." So they have to guarantee it. They're giving it out and they have an account. So that's what it is. No money. 4:30 now, 4:45. So I look up where a bank is. It's big traffic in San Jose. Where's the next Union Bank so I can get there? It says I'm going to arrive at 5:01. They close at 5. Get on customer service, based in Jamaica. It's taking forever. I'm traveling in there. Finally get a hold of somebody. It's past 5 o'clock. They say, "Sorry, sir, there's nothing we could do." It's my Jamaican accent. I get to the door. It's 5:01. They say, "Oh, are we closed?" I'm like, "No, dude, like, you took all my money. Like, I gave you all my money. I have no money. Like, it counts for travel. Like, you just took the money from me. I'm out of town. I'm supposed to drive home today. But they said, no, sorry, we're going to process it and put it. But I'm like, no, it's a check from you. Union Bank gave me the check. So this is a 7-day period apart from each other. I've only had this bank for like 3 months. So now, 5 o'clock, I was on hold for 30 minutes. Sounds like 5:35. Then the conversation got over at 5:50 with the lady from Jamaica. I quickly tweeted her employee number and name because they were kind of just fucking around with me. And I was like, dude, why did you hold the money? She's like, well, you could have negotiated with the lady at the teller for some money. I said, negotiate with the teller? What are you talking about? I can't, so I'm all, what if I cash the check? They said, well, yeah, you can cash the check. I'm all, so you'll just cash this multi-$1,000 check and give me cash and let me walk out. But if I just put the check in my bank account, you'll give me $0? Like, that doesn't make sense at all. Like, it's a check from you. This is the craziest thing ever. So social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere I could possibly go, tagged them everywhere. And they automatically contact me. Local branch, out of town branch, everybody's, and they want to say sorry. Sorry doesn't cut it. I mean, the first time it was kind of embarrassing. Card decline, having to drive around, the stress of messing around, having to go inside the bank, which is not what you have this card for in the first place, and all this online app. I'm not trying to go inside the bank at all. I want to make this a quick process. Now, before, other chains, like a bank that educational credit union, operator engineers credit union, I could take a picture of a $5,000 check, and in 30 seconds, it would be in my bank account, fully available, spend it all the time. But here, I get $0. Talked to the guys at work, they said the same thing. Sometimes they would give you $200 at a time fulfilling the check. It's like, what is going on? I was sitting there in my car. I was supposed to go see the family. I was like, man, I've been out working out of town. I'm going to go see my family. I had all these plans to buy some food, and like, I skipped my lunch. It's like, I literally have $0 on me. Like, you know, when I work out of town, I'm trying not to take a bunch of credit cards, my wallet, and all this other stuff. I'm trying just to be, so my car gets broken into or I lose anything, I don't lose everything. So I'm just taking bare necessities. And I'm screwed. Union Bank screwed me, and they had no way to help you. After 5 o'clock, there's nothing you can do. So if you have a normal job, if you don't get that crap done before 5, done. They say there's banks open till 6 somewhere, but I talked to the bank. They said, nope, they no longer do that. So that's bullcrap too. Do not use Union Bank. They are a terrible bank. I told them, thoughts and prayers, saying sorry is worthless to me. Worthless. I mean, it doesn't get my time back with my family, the stress I had. I had no opportunity for money. It was the craziest thing I've ever had anybody do. I'm like, so what I did the next day is I went right to the bank that lady, she saw my bank account was at $0. She's like, oh, sir, sweet. Thanks for taking the check. And I see that this bank account's at $0. So I'm going to send you out here. Good luck getting home with no money. Like, she could have told me, hey, you want some cash because you have no money in your bank account. But no, I'll just give you a couple $1,000s. No. You don't get that money. What? I don't get the money? No, sir, you don't get the money. What the fuck? So the next day, I'm driving to that bank after work. I skipped my lunch this time. And on the way there, it was Union Bank in Milpitas. The lady called me and said, sir, I apologize, blah, blah, her story, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't want sorry. Also, I am on my way there right now. She's like, oh, sir, okay, you're on your way. I'm like, yeah, I'm driving there right now. They're like, okay, security. So I drive up. Cranberry juice. And go inside very politely, you know. I'm always like this. Like, seriously, like, blah, blah, blah. But I'm stern with my conversations, right? Sorry, watching a game, watch my face. And I tell her the whole story. It's like, hey, yeah, we messed up. I don't know why this is. I'm like, why would you ever hold a check? We shouldn't. It's a check from us. I'm like, that's illegal for you to say, you know, here's a fake money, and we're going to hold the money. All they do is say, if you have a bank and say there's 100 people, just like a basic electrical company, 100 people, and they all deposit their money in this Union Bank. And it's actually not a union bank. They just use the name Union Bank. They're not union. It's just a name. So they deposit their bank money in there. Say everybody has, say, $3,000. $3,000 with 100 people. Now you got a nice little chunk of $30,000 or $300,000, whatever much you give. A lot of $300,000. So a lot of money in there, right? And then for one day, they can accrue interest on that money. But if they let you have it, they can't get interest. So they want to hold it longer in their account before they release it an extra day. That's their goal. Not giving us money so they can make their own profit. Union Bank, the only way I'd ever... So I'm opening another bank account. So I think I'm going to go to Chase. Everybody tells me to go to Chase. So anyways, so I tell the lady all the problems. And then I have more checks I need to cash. So I have a couple $1,000s to get. So I give the lady, so look, these checks, I want to cash. I don't want to deposit these checks. I want to cash them. She's like, okay. So she cashes my check. Yesterday, the day before, I gave her same exact checks, different amount, close to the same. And they put it in my account and gave me $0. Today, I give them, the next day, sorry, not today, it was the next day I give them the checks. They give me all the money in my hand. And then I tell the lady, I would like to deposit this cash in my check, or my account. You're not going to hold it, are you? And she says, no. It's like, okay, good, because it is cash. There's no reason for you to withhold the cash. So I will cash my check. You give me all the cash. And then right then, I'm just going to deposit it right back into the account. So that's what I did. And it's like, okay, well, it's not the most convenient way. Well, I said, well, fuck it off. And then she tried to tell me, like, well, what you can do is when you deposit your check, ask for the lady to give you a full account balance. And I'm like, well, don't they do that anyway? She's like, no, they just give you what you deposited. And you have to actually get a deposit what you have available. I'm all, it should be right here on this app too. I don't want to print it out. It's on my app. I give you, would have available. I know I'm keeping a track of it. I don't need actually you guys to. You're not my accountant. You're the bank, and I'll be accountable for my own money. So I give you the check. I know how much money's in there. Now let me have my money. I worked hard for it. What kind of bank are you? I don't need you guys to monitor or withhold my money. So get to the point. Union Bank is fucking shitty. I only want financial repercussions. I want money from them. I want a free trip to Vegas. That's what I want to deal. Sponsored by Union Bank. I want Union Bank to give me $2,000 for a free trip to Vegas, all expense paid for me and my family. So because I didn't get to go see my family, that's what I want. I don't want no more fucking apologies. I'm done. I mean, it was crazy. Like, I've never had, literally, I've been working out of town for almost 4 years now. Almost 5 years, sorry. I could take pictures of my checks and deposit them. And now I get no money from this. It's the craziest bank I ever heard. And why would they even shut your bank down? Because, so basically what they say is, if you go broke. I wasn't broke. I just don't use this account. If your account does go to zero after 24 hours, they're shutting it down. Shutting it down. So, back to it. Anyways, that was a really low point too. I was really depressed. I'm pretty positive, but the thing that gets me is things that are out of my control. Like, I understand I can't control life, but I can control my effort, energy, and I think this is like my son plays football. We had a situation this week. My son shows up early. He's late. I mean, never late. He helps stays late. He's super accurate. He does everything right to be a quarterback, and been battling this guy who pays for his kid to play since like second grade. And the kid is terrible. Interceptions, before the game, he threw the ball so badly it missed the receiver and then hit a kid on the sideline. He's a terrible quarterback. Great kid. Terrible quarterback. Not to mention he shows up late. He falls asleep at practice or in film room, so they make him stand up in the back of the room. He has no discipline. During the game, he has a helmet off the whole time. He's never by the offensive coordinator. He never wants to warm up because he can't throw accurately. He doesn't want to throw the ball in front of anybody. But my son's constantly warming up. He's warming up the starting quarterback. And then this weekend, or this Friday, when they had an opportunity to put a quarterback in, instead of my son, who's been doing all the right stuff, working hard, being a leader, they put the fucking Boosters kid in. I was like, what the fuck? The kid didn't have he's not even ready. He doesn't have his helmet on. He's warm. Doesn't even want to play. And they put him in. My son's fucking heartbroken because he's done all the right stuff. Been busting his ass. And, when it's out of your control, like you do everything right, when you have these coaches who, instead of doing the right thing and putting the best player in who's earned it, they play this politics, I guess. I don't know. I'm not involved. Like I said, I'm out of town. I haven't seen a practice. I show up to the games barely on time. I don't think I've talked to one coach and I just said, hey, thank you. My son said he likes you. Appreciate it. A great job today. And I think I said great job again. I think the only two things I ever said to the coaches. I don't really know who they are, position-wise, you know what I mean? So, not involved at all. I haven't been involved in their coaching since, I think, 8th grade is the last time I ever talked to a coach. And he got fired. 7th grade coach got fired too. So anyways, this situation this weekend was Friday was so crazy. I was pretty upset, and there's other parents around, or coaches. Like, we've been involved with youth football forever. And there's other coaches who've taken money from this parent also and tried to play that kid over my kid. And they've lost a lot of games. And eventually, my son will go in and then score, but they always bench him for the donor's kid. So it's like, for my kid, it's really frustrating. It's mentally anguishing because he doesn't understand why an adult would treat him like that. He's like, they always tell me character and hard work and all this stuff, but then this motherfucker's going ahead of me, and he didn't earn it at all. And you would think, even like character-wise, like if I'm standing next to my bro, like at work, like, nah, dude, I didn't earn it. He's been busting his ass, so let him go. I've been doing nothing. I don't deserve it. But this kid doesn't have that. The parents don't have it. And if you look on the field, all the kids act just like the parents. I think that's a really good example. My son acts exactly like me. He busts his ass. He's always running and doing all the right stuff and coming early. Not that really. Showing up early and staying late. I could edit that. Anyways, doing all the right stuff. And the other kids are slackers and getting by with money and not doing the right stuff. And there's some kids who are busting their ass, and there's some kids who are hotheads and always get personal fouls because it's like the dad's a hothead, and he'd always get in trouble and kicked out of games because he's a bad ref or a bad coach. And so, like, all the players act just like the parents. Parents, you are a mirror. Your kids are a reflection of you. That's all you do, is you're a mirror. And they're going to look just like you. So, it's a weird situation. We don't know what to do quite yet. We're like, you can't talk to the coaches. Obviously, they're either so like purchased by the parent. We don't want to really understand it. Why they would put such a bad kid in there, just like character-wise. You think the rest of the team would be like, well, if this kid just a fuck off and not even good at his position, and Peyton's busting his ass, so what other kids? Why would I bust my ass? Because you're going to put that kid in anyways, and there's no really fair level of how to get to point A and point B. The coaches are disrespecting the game, so there's no respect for the players or even the situation, But if you look at the history of this school, we're trying to figure out what's going to happen, So we're, there's only a few games left in his football career, and we don't want this to continue for the rest, or like miss out because of adults. These are kids trying to work hard at their thing. They don't want to be controlled by adults. If the kid doesn't deserve it, doesn't deserve it. If he's not any good, throws interceptions, shouldn't be in there. So that's what's happening. The kid's so bad, throwing interceptions, they keep putting him in there. And my son's doing great, busting his ass, always working, staying late, and they're trying to prevent him from going in because he'll look good and make the other guy look bad, and the other guy should never go in again. And that's how it should be. And then also prove me right for the last decade of trying to, stick by my son and let him do what he wants to do. And he's always been successful and always been winning. But what do you do? What do you do? To me, I'm depressed. Not depressed. I'm upset. The community, other people. We have a sheriff, we have a police chief, and their kids are on the team, and they play different positions. And these people are supposed to be leaders in the community, but they see what's going on. They've dealt with this before. Some of their kids have actually tried to play quarterback, but they weren't successful, and they got moved to other positions. And they've had to deal with this, but they stay silent. They don't speak up. So me, as someone in the community, I feel my son and my family abandoned by the sheriffs, the police chief, the fire chief, coaches that he's had, other parents that supposedly, anybody comes up to me and says hi, like friendly wise, and you're not willing to stick up for my family. I hope, it almost be like, if you guys have a problem, you're like, hey, can you stick up, help us? Like, well, fuck. I've been sticking up for you guys. I'm a loud voice. I've always been here. But you guys are not supporting our family. We're working hard for you guys. But, even when I was younger, back in the day, my kid was younger, I used to volunteer a lot in football and stuff to help out and give a lot of those kids opportunities. I pretty much put every kid in the position they play in today. Every position from tight end to wide receiver to defensive back, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, quarterback, wide receiver, every people I put in positions, they're the same position I put him in except for one kid. That's the Boosters kid. He shouldn't be where he's at. He should have been a defensive end, or I had him at tight end, but after a while I got a little soft, so he can't play in positions. But what are you going to do? I document everything. I have pictures and videos of every practice up until we got to like 7th and 8th grade, and I'm busy out of town. Just saying, I thought high school sports and junior high sports would be different, where the better player would always be out there and it's about winning, but they've lost all their 7th grade, they lost 8th grade, last freshman year. They lost all these games. And that's the only time they've actually won, but the Boosters kid's not in. He's a backup quarterback who steps over. My kid only comes in when they've already won. So yeah, it's kind of a bullcrap situation. We're worried next year is supposed to be my son's starting. He should be able to beat the guy. He's already beat him all year, so he should be the starting quarterback next year. But it's like, almost like we can't trust the coaches. We can't trust the parents. We can't trust the adults in the room. Like, what do you do? The character isn't there. Lack of morals, so what do you do? We're sitting there watching. I didn't email the coach, like, what the fuck did he put that guy in for? I talked to the parent next to me that was one of the coaches that made some of this stuff possible. Like, what the fuck? See, this is stuff that you got involved in, that you didn't stick up to stuff, and now look what's going on. Now his kid's not playing, and want me to feel bad for your kid not playing? Like, I've been sticking up for you since day one. I'm trying to tell you where we're all in this together. We're all community. We want to win, don't we? They've lost so many games. When they lose, they start getting hurt. It's crazy. So, what do? Union Bank sucks. Adults suck. What do? You know what I mean? Keep on working your butt off. Like I said, working on a video. I've been talking about this. We wrote a book kind of about this a while ago. I made a video and I was showing my son. He, let's see here if I can find it. I'm going to add it on there if I can. It is, right here. So watch this. I put this on here because this is pretty much a prime example. I think this is it. Yeah, sweet. So maybe good for me. A bunch of what I said didn't actually get on here. But this is, like I said, this is my son. Right? Here he is right here. He's the guy with no helmet. He already got done running his running. The other kid is right over there. Let's see my kids. Hey, this guy's in last place. I'm a quarterback and a leader team. I'm going to go back there and help. He's running to the cones. He has no helmet on. He already did his lap. The other quarterback is in the pile there with the other two coaches. The white guy is the guy I was talking about earlier. He's the head coach. He's the one that made it possible for my son not to play during games. He took the money. He used to drive the trailer around. And even though my son well deserved the playing opportunity, he would put in wide receivers and everybody besides my son at quarterback, even though it was his turn. And he's very successful at it. So there's lots of stories. Him winning lots of videos online. It's not because he just let him play because he wants to play. He wins. He's actually beat this team that he's on right now. The year before, he beat them head to head. And you see the other coach with the, not that guy right there. But on the far left, the red hat and black and shirt and black shorts. He's another coach. He was the offensive coordinator. He did it also, prevented my son from getting in. It was an important thing for him not to let my son play. Make sure that the other quarterback, who was the booster's kid, who's taking a knee there, not moving, definitely not going to go out and run. He was always last. I always told my son, he might not be first, but be in the top 10. So he's always in the top 10, and then he goes back and he helps the person last. Leadership. Always has it, always been doing it, So that's who we are as parents, and kids are a reflection of their parents, and we're just mirrors, So got always to this situation. What do you do when you got these people? You know what I mean? Well, that team right there, we originally when the Rebels first started, I was one of their first head coaches, and the first game we beat the people so bad they had to quit. And then in the middle of the year, the booster, he said, "Hey, I want my kid to be quarterback." I'm like, "Well, we already have a quarterback. We'll try it though." But he kept fumbling the ball, and he couldn't do pitches, and he couldn't actually learn how to do the pitch until he got to like a senior year in high school. He couldn't actually do the pitch properly, and every time he threw the ball, it'd be an interception. He could throw it really hard, but no one knew where it was going to go. You know what I mean? So I was like, "Look, I'm trying, but it's not working out. We're not trying to lose a game. I can't have turnovers. He works for other positions, so let him work at this other position. Plus, he's late all the time. He's kind of lazy. He's not a really hard worker. He's everything handed to him, so why would he work hard? And still to this day, he shows up late all the time, falls asleep in the back of the classroom. He's never working. He has no work ethic whatsoever, no leadership. My kid was the other kid running. That's how he practiced today. He still has that leadership work ethic because that's who I am. So I taught that to him. Kids act like the parents. I said, I've had a coach one time, he was yelling at the kids so much, the kid would go home and cry to his mom, and then they try to blame me. So the coach complained to the president of the league, who happened to be this old guy, and his son was a vice president, who was having an affair with one of the moms of my team, he's now divorced, and he was trying to force his kid at quarterback on one of the teams, but his kid hated playing football, and the kid that he was taking out from quarterback ended up being one of the starting quarterback in high school. Kind of the same situation my kid, but my kid still hasn't got the opportunity yet. It's actually the same exact situation. So, yeah, if you got to know the story about Ian Kirby was an awesome quarterback from Buchanan, but the vice president of the Rebels didn't let him play quarterback. They wanted his own son quarterback. The kids are great kids. Nothing to do with the kids. They're the adults. It's the adults who the problem are. Nothing to do with the kids. The kids are just fake little trinkets from really, and then does the trinket work or the trinket don't work? It don't work? Okay. So does the trinket do the job? It doesn't do the job? Can't use the trinket. You know what I mean? So, the guy would yell at the kids, and then he told the vice president that it was me with bad behavior. So they told me, I was like, well, I'll quit. I'll let you. If you think it's me with bad, let them deal with it then. We'll see what happens when I'm not around. Maybe it'll be all better, right? So I quit, and I sat on the sideline. Oh, and the very next game, they were fighting so much. It was like 4 coaches, me including him, and I left. Now there's 3 coaches, and the 2 coaches are just yelling at each other. And they're the ones that yell at their kid and making them run during practice. They yell at them so bad, they just make them run laps, So it was terrible, you know what I mean? So me and my son would look at each other like, no, we ain't doing that. I can just talk to you, bro. It's football. I don't need to fucking yell at you. And so yeah, the third coach quits in the middle of the game. He's like, I'm out of here. I don't want nothing to do with this. You guys are out of your mind. And then the very next year, they award me head coach of the team. So it was a funny situation, except for the fact that vice president was having an affair with one when the mom was on my team, that wasn't the greatest situation. So that's why I pulled my kids out of that. I pulled my kids out of that situation because the guys were using steroids, the coaches were. And then, when you have someone tell you, hey, this kid needs to play over this kid, I'm like, well, I'm going to put the kid in there who deserves to play. And also I can find opportunities for everybody. And that's like with youth football, they only want like 2 or 3 people scoring touchdowns. I'm like, everybody's scoring touchdowns. We're all winning. I'm trying to build memories for these people. But a lot of these coaches did not want that. So it was a very weird situation. But we're still dealing with it. So what do you do? What do you do when you got to deal with these parents will do anything to prevent your kid from having opportunities? I give every opportunities, and hey, can you do it? You can't do it? Let them try. But they can't try it. They can't do it. That's the way it is. So the Boosters kid has tried since 2nd grade, and they have the biggest losing record in interceptions. And I said, I guess the last game was a homecoming game. The kid, he threw a ball so bad that it hit a little boy on the sideline. But it's just a joke. I don't know, like, how can the parent even like look at themselves in the mirror as just ethics and moral, like lack of character? What does your kid think? Like, oh yeah, I'm good. He's terrible out there. Like, he has more interceptions and losses than anybody. And it's funny when you see him at the game, like, what is going in your mind? Like, yeah, I won again. I bought my kid a spot. It's so gross. And like, what lessons is he going to learn in life? He's already not learning them. He's late. He disrespects the game. He's never prepared, never have his helmet on. He's never even involved in anything going on. And so what is he learning? That daddy's going to save him and daddy's just going to teach him anything? So I don't know. And dad is supposed to be this hunter, tough, masculine guy. He's in the UFC fighting and MMA fighting. He's in all that stuff. But the kid doesn't have the character I don't think the dad has. It's wild. Wild stuff. What do you do? What do you do with these crazy parents? So, it's crazy too. So then after we left and we finally come back, where you see this video where this team right here, this is owned by Scott Wilson, owns this team. It's supposed to be a 410C. Scott Wilson is the person who was running this team at this time. And my son is doing all the right stuff, busting his ass all the time. There's 2 quarterbacks, him and another kid, in there playing quarterback. They're throwing the ball back and forth. And, best kid is the one who's going to go in and play. Or the kid who throws the most interceptions should not go in and play. See, that's that video here. I got lots of videos here. Oh, enough I'm before I do that again. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to go up here to this one. This is the one I want to think. So, yeah, so like here, I'll put this one in here real fast. Same thing with this dang video. I don't know why. You put them onto OBS, they loop like that. They come upside down. So yeah, so here's my kid. This basic play. This is Buddy. Throw pass, on the run, bit of completion. Real basic stuff, right? Real basic stuff. Oops. And then that's another completion. See, I got a couple videos here. So this is what I'm talking about. We heard about reverse pivot, right? So
that's okay. I was trying to get a pretty lady in it.
To fix this loop, put it there, and then upside down.
I was trying to get a pretty lady in it.
Oh, so yeah. So Booster's kid, these kids are all.
Come on, Peyton.
But there's you can see right there. It's the coach's older son is the pale kid.
You're right.
Who has the ball in his hand. My son's the quarterback right now. So this is how you pitch the ball correctly. So once again, it's an offensive coordinator. It's all black with the red hat. And then
Lightning.
My son is the quarterback and the coach's kid. I was staring at him. Pert, perfect pitch on the go. Team's ready to go. Here's the booster's kid, can't do the reverse pitch, so he does this weird thing. It's a little bit behind him. They kind of like look away. Go ahead, Peyton, try it. And Peyton, my son, like once again, so that's how you're supposed to do it. You got to do reverse pivot. Do it correctly. See, here we go. Here's my son. Come on. Go ahead, Peyton. Do the play. Here we go. This is how you do a pitch. Put in motion. Pitch. The other one was a throw. This was the pitch. This is how you do it wrong, because you can't do reverse pivot. So that's how every practice would go. And we would be like, what is going on? So here's a final one I'm going to give you here. And this is the kid that would go in front of my kid on the day I was talking about. So this is trippy. So this kid didn't actually show up the day of the week of the practice for the game. But this kid tried it one time. So here's my kid again. Here's my son. He's playing quarterback. He's big. And there's all the coaches, left and right. On the right, that's the booster's oldest son. Son throws a pass, boom, in the hands. Drops it. And here's the guy they try to put in against my son. That's how every pass went. Ready? I can't make that up. So every pass, he's an athlete, looks good. Boom. This is the kid they would put ahead of my kid over the for second string. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then this is the booster's kid. And then here's my kid. Okay. It's not even close. Right? Booster's kid. Barely do it. Right? And here's my kid. Perfect. Every time. So, this is how it always went down. So we had a game where they were losing. They had the booster's kid in. They were losing 45-0. I was like, put my kid in. Dude, it's like second half. I'm like, put in Peyton. It's 45-0. What are you guys doing? You guys can't even get a first down. You can't complete a pass. And then they put in the kid that's throwing the passes into the ground. Through this, they put this kid in. I was like, wait, the kid hasn't shown up in 2 weeks, and you're going to put him in front of my kid who's been here every day busting his ass? That's bullshit. Well, for just character-wise, it's not even correct. The kid didn't even show up. Why would he even play if he didn't even show up to practice? And that's when the guy, Scott Wilson, who owned the team, his kid's he's still involved in the football team, stands up and says, your kid's never going to play football on my team. I'm like, you're not even a coach. He's like, I own the team. Well, isn't this like a non-profit organization? There's not really an owner. Is there an owner of a non-profit? He's like, you don't tell us what to do. We don't want to hear you talking no more. I'm going to take it out on your kid. That's what Scott Wilson said. I'm going to take it out on your kid. And I'm like, you're going to take what? I'm like, my kid's not even playing. And then that kid that I showed you is right here. He goes in. Oh, God. He goes in and he fumbles the ball. As he goes to get the ball, they tackle him. He hyperextends his leg, gets carried off. Hurt for the rest of the year. Doesn't play quarterback ever, plays wide receiver. They put him in randomly, gets hurt. So they put my son in finally, and he's yelling, your kid's never going to play on my team. My son hikes the ball, takes the ball 65 yards to the 2-yard line. I'm all, my kid just went in. And he's the only positive yards in your whole game. He says, I don't care what you're saying. I'm never going to let your kid play on my team. He's playing. Oh, give me the money. The game is over. Pull my kid. Tell him, look. At the time, my ex-wife was videotaping him as he's yelling, I'm going to take it out on your son. That's what Scott Wilson was yelling. I'm like, take what? He's not even playing. He's a child. What are you going to do? You're going to wrestle him? You're going to wrestle my kid? What are you saying in front of all these adults? You're mad at me because I'm saying let my son play. It's 45-0. It's 45-0. And you put a wide receiver in ahead of him. We understand that this guy what's that name? Pat Roberts is paying you and making sure that my kid doesn't get an opportunity to play. That's your whole goal. We get it. We get it. So just give my money back. We'll get away from you. You have your own league, so we leave again. You're like, fuck these people. We give them an opportunity to act like adults, but they refuse to. So take our kid out. And that's the guy who's still involved in the team today. He's not a coach, but he hosts dinners for the team. He gives money. His kid is a sophomore and is starting on the varsity team. That normally does not happen, especially when you're a little bit smaller than everybody else. And tend to get beat on defense quite often. But Scott Wilson said, I'm taking it on your kid. Your kid's never going to play. So now he's putting all his effort in to make sure my kid doesn't play. I don't know if the coaches are aware that there's video of this, and I don't know if the coaches are aware that all the situations went down, but this is how Scott Wilson and Pat Roberts handled their situation here in my local neighborhood. You know, they're all tied, these people in this group and the rebels and all these people just, instead of just letting people perform, like, hey, winner takes all, right? They want to control it with their money. No opportunities. They don't want competition. So what do you do when you have to deal with people like, you know, Scott Wilson of the Rebels? And you just kind of, you know, I try to stay away from those people. They're bad people. I think I might have went to high school with them. I don't know. I don't know who know these people. I know but Pat Roberts and Scott Wilson both are in the air conditioning business. That's their ties together. And I don't know how many other people who are tied to their businesses are tied with them, also these other coaches. But I know a couple contractors were tied on the vice president who was having an affair. He's a general contractor, so he would use those two AC companies from Scott Wilson and Pat Roberts for jobs. And they would get contracted out to pour concrete pads for air conditioning units. Every once in a while, you have all these units need to be poured for outside units. They need to be poured, so this guy would pour them, you know, and do the, you know, basic job of general contracting. So what do you do when you got to deal with these people? I'm hoping Union Bank steps up, but we'll see. Also, I was watching about some woke. People talking about woke and like grooming and stuff, and I think that's funny. Like, you know, Jackass? Jackass seems like it's grooming a little bit, right? There's lots of like homophobic behavior stuff on Jackass. Like they do things like where they put in their butt. You know, there's a lot of naked stuff with, you know, guy on guy. It's not like lots of pornos like where guys and girls or girls are involved. Not naked girls. It's all naked dudes and a lot of butt stuff and poop stuff, you know. Isn't that Hollywood? Why don't people think that Jackass is grooming? They always think, oh, this is cool. And I'm like, I don't know. Hot Wheel in the butthole is not the greatest thing in the world, you know. And Union Bank sucks. I thought I'd talk about that. Union Bank is a terrible bank. Can I tell you? I was so disappointed by Union Bank. Union Bank and the families in my community, that's what I'm going to say. I've helped out a lot of people in this neighborhood, in this community. I tell stories of a girl that I went to school with. She has like 4 kids, and one day she said her crock pot broke. Oh, she's so upset, and wish she had another crock pot. I'm like, oh, I have 2. I actually had 2 in a box. You know, I don't know why I had 2 in a box. I had 2 brand new in a box. I'm like, you can have one. And she's like, oh, thank you. I'll make you a dinner. Did she ever make me dinner? Fuck no. She took that crock pot, and that was it. Bitch, don't make me no food. The community don't help nobody. What's the problem in this community? People are like, oh, yeah, Texas is so much. No, fuck no, they ain't. Fuck, this is like a little Texas. People are all assholes in this town. Can't trust your community, man. Trying to help people out. We're all on the same side. Nope, these backstabbing, clickety-clackety people. Man. Fake nonprofit 401cs, football pay to play. It's kind of funny. It's kind of sad. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Give me some recommendations. I'm sitting there watching, let my kid handle everything. I tell him to speak up, tell these coaches, hey, this is bullshit. I'm doing all the right stuff, and you're putting that kid in there. My son's like, no, I'm going to stay quiet. And hopefully they're going to let me in. But I think they just tease them. And I think they lack of character, lack of morals and ethics. You know, it's kind of wild. You know what I mean? I always say, if it was your kid, what would you do? What would you do if it was your kid? All these kids go to Disrespect University here, getting disrespected by these coaches and adults. It is what it is, though, huh? I don't know. Personally, I don't like it. I think there's a better way than shoving a Hot Wheel up your butt. I just think that it's not the greatest idea. Union Bank really is a terrible bank. Make sure I say that enough. So that's what I need. This is the solution. Ready, Union Bank? So my kids' football team is a pay-to-play too sometimes. So Union Bank, I need you to donate a large sum of money to my kids' school for the football team for my son to help him get on the team. I really appreciate it. Union Bank, you prevented me from seeing my family. And the time I want to see my family is getting prevented opportunities by someone else who's giving money to the team. So Union Bank, who used to be Union Bank of California, if you do this for me, I'll let you sponsor my show, Union Bank of California, or Union Bank. I'll put a logo, like right here. See, I got mine right there, but I'll put Union Bank logo right there. But I need you guys to sponsor my kids' football team. I need like 10 or 15 grand. It'd be really good. I'll put your sponsor logo in here. I'll write it off. Your write off, my write off. Boom, boom, boom. Union Bank, you want to get in good standings with me? That's what I need. I need a donation in my son's name to his football team. They really appreciate that. You know what I mean? They got some old ass jerseys and stuff right now, and I'm pretty sure Union Bank can whip up some all that good stuff. Everything they need from Union Bank. Because right now Union Bank has let me down. So my community's let me down. So who's gonna step up to the plate? Someone took my crock pot and let me down. No food from the crock pot. Football coaches who are getting paid to play by some guy who babies his kid. Jackass shoving Hot Wheels up people's butts. Let me down. They're not going to do that. Anyways, Union Bank. Right now, Union Bank, when I put my money in there, they're all like, ha ha. I'm like, Union Bank, that's not very nice. Like, why do you do that? They're like, whatever. If you can see it right now, the guy's telling me, ha ha. And it is no good. Good. Tied 10-10, watching Chiefs miss a field goal. They suck. Ha ha. So, yeah. So go to the website, support local Union Bank. I'm going to put a little short on YouTube, tag Union Bank. This is what I need, Union Bank. I need you to sponsor my kids' football team. It would really help out. Help out me as a person, help out me as a community, help out my son who's been working his butt off. It would help out the football team because they'd finally win. They're winning right now. The quarterback they have now is a good kid. But the backup quarterback who's competing with my kid is not a good quarterback. Maybe a great kid, but not a good quarterback. So I want to help out the team. So my kid gets in and wins with the other kid who's good, except for the backup quarterback who's paid by his daddy. So, Union Bank, that's what I need you to do. Step up your game. You get to write it off. You can write a big old donation to a public school. You're not giving me any money. I can put you on my podcast here, Union Bank. I'll speak highly of you, and that's what I need. So, till then, like, share, comment. We out.
May I have your attention?
Our style is impeccable. I told you all.
Never know what you're gonna get.
I told you all. My style is impeccable. I am the greatest.
Never know what you
Go wife, 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 go wife.
May I have your attention?
I'm not even supposed to be here today.